Plunger. As for you. Come on, boys. I'm gonna have a bash at the shower today as well, because this guy had a whopper. Let me show you. Maybe not today. Hello, buddy. He's gonna love that. Welcome to the channel. As we begin a second year living full time in our motorhome, friendship has been a feature. Van life chores done, Sue and I are living our best life in retirement, catching up with friends, having lots of fun, and spending all our time with our two dogs, Archie and Fudge. With you and I, the future is bright. Hi gang, and welcome back. So we are moving on today, but we are using that as an opportunity to do a number of little chores on the way. At the bottom of our shower door there is a seal on both sides, and they've gone, they're a bit naff. One's falling off, and in fact one's held on by a bit of gaffer tape, so we need to replace that. Hi, so we've just arrived at Tool Station, just on the outskirts of Taunton, to pick up that essential thing that we need. So hopefully it will fit and we'll be able to fix the shower later today, or maybe tomorrow. We've got gaffer tape in place at the moment, so it's not too bad, but I'll let you know how I get on.
How did you get on then?
Total success. Plunger. As for you, oh, it's stuck. Shower seal. I think that'll be alright. They recommended that to cut it, as I thought, little hacksaw. We're going to have some fun, aren't we?
What about your funnel?
And my funnel.
Oh my god, it's huge.
It's not huge, it's flexible. It's got a little filter in, which I probably don't really need that, but I'll be able to stick that in, pour it in there. Won't need to lift the floor up every time I have an emergency water fill. Not an emergency. I don't want anyone to think that this funnel is for anything other than putting fresh water into the water tank. So there we go. Total success. Next stop, pets at home. Now Fudge is on a grain-free diet. And the reason for that is we didn't get Fudge until she was 10 months old. We rehomed her and she was already on a grain-free diet. So we've just kept her on a grain-free diet. The problem is her pet food is very rarely in stock anywhere. We find a Pets at Home and get it ordered and we pick it up from there. There she comes. Success?
Yes.
Easy peasy?
Yes, it was.
Hi, so we've finally arrived at our destination. It's a Caravan and Motorhome club site. I think the little village is called Durlington or Durlston or something like that. So Sue's just gone to check us in. Most important here is that we can either get good TV or good Wi-Fi, or we can find a pub showing the Six Nations, because tomorrow is the final day of the Six Nations. And we'll be devastated if we can't watch that. Good morning everyone. So we didn't film yesterday afternoon, it'd been raining on and off, but we did arrive at our location. What's the name of the village?
I can't remember.
It begins with a D. Dulverton, something. We'll find out in a minute, because I noticed yesterday the name's by the pub. And it's a really peaceful little place. It's right on the edge of the village, beside a river and some woodland, which is great for walking the dogs, although it seems quite steep for old Archie. So the name of the village is Dulverton. We're heading off into the woods now, which is the woods run. They've got kind of a big hill, and so the woods, all the trees sit on the hill, and it kind of follows the general direction of the river. We're on this really nice trail. It's up on a ridge, and you can see the opposite side from where the caravan site is. If I get a gap in the trees, I'll try and give you a glimpse. And I'll tell you now, the only sounds I can hear, apart from my own voice, are our footsteps, the river, and the birds. Idyllic. So as you can see, the weather has brightened up this afternoon and we've set off in a different direction. We've gone a little bit into the town, not far actually, but so we're just off down this little lane, which is very quiet. See what that's like for poochie walks. So we made it back from our walk, and a very nice walk it was too. Had two very well behaved dogs. He's plodding a bit now, which means he's tired. And we've got more Six Nations to watch. So I've got to get back. I think we'll have missed the start of the Wales game, but that's all right. We can catch up and we can definitely then watch the England game. And let's see if they have as embarrassing defeat this week as they did last week. I do hope not, but Italy are currently number one. Sorry, Italy. Ireland are currently number one in the world, so I think they've got a massive uphill. Just let's hope they perform a bit better. Come on, boys. Good morning, everyone. So we've woken up today to an absolutely glorious sunny day. I've just taken the opportunity with the sun behind the cloud to just try and get this video in quickly. And I know that Sue wants to clean the van today, so we've been told she needs rid of us. We're going to have to sit outside for a while. But this is the perfect day to do it. If it stays like this all day, I'll not only be sitting outside, I'll be sitting outside with just my t-shirt on because it really is a beautiful day. Oh, the other thing we've got to do today, we've still not sorted the shower. So we're going to have a bash at the shower today as well. So this is what clean-up day looks like. Let me show you. So, the bit of the shower that we have to fix, let me show you. First things first, we're going to need to move Fudge's bed. So, hopefully you can see that this is naff and needs replacing. The other side here is even more naff because we've just got this. I can zoom you in a bit. This bit of gaffer tape holding this in place. I think both sides do need replacing. I am definitely not made for manual labour, although I am giving it a go, but this has been quite tricky because I'm having to cut out a little bit so that there's a seal that comes down the middle which won't go on. I'm hoping this is going to work because if I cut it off completely it'll all jam together, but it'll leave a little gap in the middle and that'll defeat the object. So I'm going to see whether this works now that I've chopped it up in a little bit of an odd shape. See how we get on. So as you can see, it's definitely not a perfect job, but for now it'll have to do. So good morning everyone. Yesterday was a move on day and we've moved on to a new campsite. It's actually a really big campsite, but the location of it suited us because from the campsite you can walk right down to the beach, and it's part of the Jurassic coast just outside Charmouth. So over the next couple of days we'll be staying here, hopefully get some good footage down at the beach. There are loads and loads of fossil hunters that we noticed yesterday, and I actually chatted to one guy earlier this morning who was talking about some crystal that he'd found down there. I'll have to look that up and see what it is. But there's clearly a lot of people hunting for fossils that have dropped down from the cliffs, and there was a couple of little rocks fell down when I was there. It looks like the cliffs they look black and they're muddy, and the water runs through the mud and obviously then breaks off bits of rock. So I guess if you're into fossils, this could be quite an interesting place. Can't say I'm specifically interested in fossils, but just interested generally that, millions and millions of years ago, as those layers of rocks were being laid down, mud, I guess, first. I don't know. I'm going to have to read up on it. You've got me interested now. So I'm outside reception at our campsite, and as you can see behind me, there's a little shop. You can even buy a pop-up beach tent. maybe not today, but good for the summer. So it turns out Charmouth is quite a small but charming place with some nice little independents. Herringbone, that's a good name. So we've been off to a recreation ground just to see if it's an area we can let the dogs off, and they don't allow dogs. And do you know why that'll be? That'll be because of irresponsible owners who don't pick up after their dogs. So they get banned altogether, which is such a shame. Here we are down at the beachfront, right in front of the Charmouth Heritage Centre. We're going to stop here. I'm going to get a latte, and I'm going to get Sue a little bottle of water. And I have a little poke around that shop. There's something about the fossils there, so I might find out something about this general area. So I've just been chatting to a guy who was just outside where we've sat down and had a coffee, just outside the Charmouth Heritage Centre. And I had a bit of camera envy, because this guy had a whopper of a camera, and he was just taking kind of shots of the beach area all around. So I couldn't resist going and having a chat with him. And it turns out that he works for the BBC, and he's just doing some general shots just before the reporter arrives, because they're doing a bit on BBC Spotlight, which he thinks is going to be today, because apparently there's some really big new fossil that's about to be revealed at the Heritage Centre today. So how interesting is that? And he was a right nice chatty guy. I know it's me, look. They're all looking this way. Well, the dogs at least. Archie's being furminated by the looks of things. Hello, Fudge. Hi, darling. Hi, sweetie. Hello. I missed you too. Hope you can see this is an absolutely glorious afternoon. The tide's a bit further out than it was when we were here yesterday. And dogs just love beaches, don't they? This is the beach where I said this morning, on yesterday afternoon, seemed to be absolutely full of fossil hunters. Let's see if we can find some fossils. I'm not sure what we'll find because we've no idea what we're looking for, but there's obviously quite a lot of people have a lot of fun doing this. So I've just been to visit the Heritage Centre behind me, and it's free access. It was opened by David Attenborough in January of 2018, and I'm really quite impressed with it. They do ask for a donation, so I have given them a donation because when I came out it seemed like the right thing to do. And they also show you lots of fossils that have been donated by people who found them down here on the Jurassic coast. But also it shows you how to fossil hunt and what you should and shouldn't do. And then there's some videos showing you some of the techniques being used to expose the fossils from the rocks that they're embedded in. And I bought a book as well, because I can learn about the Jurassic coast then. As you know, earlier I said I was quite interested in this. So if I find any fun facts, I'll let you know. So hi folks, now excuse the mess if you can see it behind me, because it's move on day to day, so there's a load of stuff just piled on the bed whilst we move to our next destination. But before that, I just wanted to give you a quick update on some of the facts that I found out about fossils. So that bit of the coastline is known as the Jurassic coast, which is a chunk in the middle of the Mesozoic period. Now that's really fascinating in itself, because that started about 250 million years ago and ended 65 million years ago. And it was punctuated at both the start and the finish by major extinction events. So just before the start of that period, there'd been some major event which they thought was caused by I think volcanoes or movement of tectonic plates, lots of eruptions, loads of clouds made in the sky, maybe from ash and stuff like that, and that changed the temperature on the planet, and something like I think 95% of marine life and another big portion of land life died out. And then you got into this Mesozoic period, which covered the Triassic, sounds like I know what I'm talking about. The Jurassic was the middle bit, and I think there was one called the Cretaceous, which was right at the end. So during that period of time, life flourished, and then at the end of it, the 65 million years ago, there was another major extinction event, which they don't really know what, but there's a suggestion it might be meteorite, hit the earth, caused chaos, and that's when the dinosaurs all died and stuff like that. So what happened now is we've got these cliffs that are there at the edge of the sea, and every now and again there's a landslide, and that reveals all of the fossils, all the bits of dead animal that have been crushed and contained, which probably in the sediment at the time existed and became rock. So you've got crustaceans, the kind of hard shells of things, bones and stuff like that. And every time there's a landslide, all the rocks fall to the ground, and that reveals more and more fossils within that part of the coastline. And what you're allowed to do, as I found out when I visited the Heritage Centre, is you can wander along the beach. You mustn't take anything from the cliffs themselves, because obviously that would make the cliffs unstable. You need permission from the landowner to do that, and professionals can get that permission. But me and you, just normal folk who are interested, can walk along the beach, and if we find things on the beach, then we can pick them up. They do like you to take them back to the Heritage Centre, so if you find any really big fossils, they'd like you to hand them over. But we can all be fossil hunters, and I think that's really, really fascinating. So next on the agenda for us is a pub stopover. We're meeting some friends later this evening, but before we do that, en route, we're going to stop off in one of our favourite locations. We'll find a car park in the New Forest, stop and have some lunch, give the dogs a good old walk, before we then set off to our pub. So we've stopped and just had some lunch on our way to our overnight stopover, and Sue wants to do a little bit of cleaning the van inside. It's an ongoing job of keeping the van clean at this time of year. But we're in one of the New Forest car parks, which is just outside Brockenhurst, and I'll just give you a quick whiz round so you can see roughly the location and some of the walking. We've picked one where there are some woods, but they're down the lane. We're actually not far from I think it's called Black Knoll, the Caravan and Motorhome Club site. We're not obviously staying there, but there is a good lot of walking around here. Let's see if we can surprise Sue. So having had a look at OS Maps, I think this is called Beechern Wood Car Park. It is. Sue's confirming it. So this is where we have just stopped to get some lunch, and as ever we are surrounded. We are in the New Forest, and there's New Forest ponies. Well, there's actually some little Shetland ponies, but they're all free to wander around here. I'll see if I can show you one. Hello, buddy. Hiya. Hi, buddy. So apart from the obvious forests that you get in the New Forest, it's also littered by all these like commons. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant for dog walking. I think that's why, one of the reasons why we really, really like the New Forest. Morning folks, this was our park up last night. We're out in the pub car park at the back, or side technically, of the Crown and Stirrup pub, which is just on the main road between Lyndhurst and Brockenhurst. We obviously ate in the pub last night. That's the unwritten rule, isn't it? But they were really happy for us to be here. So what is also really great about this pub is just at the bottom of the garden, at the back of the pub, there is access directly into the forest behind, so it's really, really good for dog walking. Now I'm going to go and take Archie out for a walk. He's going to love that. Sue and Fudge have already gone. They've gone out for a run. So I think we'll call it a day for this video. So I thank you for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, think about giving us the thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the little bell, and that way the YouTube will let you know every time we shoot a new video. But otherwise, until next time.